Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. Ah, like, I am genuinely devastated. Like, after the first game, like, I've just read that news and my whole day has been ruined. Like, right away, my whole day, my whole week has been ruined, man. Like, it's literally the first game and you're already losing one of our best players, man, already after the first game, man. A new signing that is absolutely devastating, man. Like, usually, no, injuries happen. Yes, you cannot control injuries, but it's just even more sad when it happens to a player we've just signed, a player who's expected to make the difference, a player who's literally just come from helping us win a trophy against Man City the other day. He literally was one of the best players on the pitch, and now he's injured of the first game. And it's even worse when you look at his injury record back at Ajax, and he was never injured once. Like, it's just terrible, man. It's just devastating. So the news we were waiting for, the news that we were dreading, is finally here. Arsenal have not yet confirmed it, but the people who've confirmed it, one of them is the guy who actually said, the first person to say Timber is about to join Arsenal after David Ornstein, and he was keeping tabs on that transfer. So for him to say that the Timber injury is looking like a serious one, Team News and Texas said it's not looking good, and Sammy Mockbell has said it's not looking good as well. So, I literally do not know what to say. Do not know what we are going to do from this point on. We'll try to cover everything we can. Let me know what you make of this Timber injury. What can we do? Are we meant to buy another defender again? What are we meant to do? So let's get to the piece of news. Like, I'm literally so sad. Like, I'm even struggling. Like, injuries happen, but I'm really struggling to go through this one, man. Like, I don't know, it's because of the excitement of signing him and literally him being our best player in preseason. I don't know, but it's just literally so devastating. So this is what, let's start with this one from Mike, the Dutch journalist who was reporting a lot about Jurrien Timber before he signed him. So he said, dramatic news for Jurrien Timber, who is sidelined for months. Oh, God, months, not even weeks, man, months. Sidelined for months with the injury to his anterior cruciate ligament. Bro, that is a serious injury, man. Like, that is usually months. That is not like even 1 month or 2 months. We are talking like way many more months than that. Sources around the player have reported. So Mike would probably know a few people around the player. He's from Netherlands, and he was the one who was giving us information about Timber getting close to signing for Arsenal. This is what this one has posted on Instagram. This is what this one has said. So he has close tabs to the people who are close to Timber. This is what Sammy Mockbell has had to say about this one. Mail Sport understands there are major concerns that Jurrien Timber may have suffered a significant knee ligament injury that will keep him sidelined for months rather than weeks. Oh, man, that is pain, man. That is so painful. That is the first game of the season, man. First game. You know what is worse? I was looking at his injury record, him, Havertz, and Rice, before we signed them. And this guy, apart from, I think that time he maybe had COVID or something around 2020, I don't think he even missed more than 3 games in a row. Literally, first game for Arsenal and he's already injured. Like, how bad is our luck? Like, this is the guy who had made a major difference in our team already. Like, already he had made a major difference. Like, we lost him against Man City, went off, we considered a goal. Against Nottingham Forest, he went off, we considered a goal. Like, he is so important. He's a guy we've bought to play at right back and also as a central defender, and he has been playing as a left back without any problem. Like, you'd think we've actually signed a left back, how good he's playing right now, and he's already injured, man. And it's not even 1 week or 2 weeks of a few months. He's out for many months. So let's read what Simon Mockwell has had to say about this one. Arsenal fear 40 million new boy Jurrien Timber could be out for months with a serious knee injury. Like, this it's making me so sad reading this. By the way, I actually have why do I have tears in my eyes, man? What the hell? Why are we so connected to these teams, man? People we've never met. Like, that's how much you love this club and the players, man. Like, knee injury sustained in Ghana's opening Premier League win over Nottingham Forest. Timber was handed an instant competitive debut against Forest on the opening weekend of the season following his arrival from Ajax earlier in the summer. But the versatile defender was substituted early in the second half with a suspected knee problem. It was also the way it happened as well. It was so weird, but that is how Arsenal injuries happen so many times. You think someone is going down for like a week or two and they end up up going out for 9-10 months. Timber's been undergoing various tests and scans as Arsenal medics look to assess the extent of the damage, but MailSport understands there are major concerns that Timber may have suffered a significant knee ligament injury that will keep him sidelined for months rather than weeks. The other day we were reading about Courtois and Militao getting injuries for Real Madrid. I did not know the very next day it was going to be Arsenal suffering the same. And if you follow the Arsenal women's, a lot of our players picked up ACL injuries last season. Beth Mead, Vivian, I think Claire Williamson as well. Like a lot of Arsenal ladies picked up ACL injuries. Now it's time for the Arsenal boys as well. Like, it's so devastating, man. Like, the way it kills our players. And I'll tell you why it's also devastating, even if he comes back. We'll get to it. There are initial concerns on Saturday that Timber has damaged his anterior cruciate ligament, but those fears are unconfirmed. Any news of a lengthy layoff will come as a huge blow to Mikel Arteta, who has been impressed by the way Timber has adapted to life in England. So we don't know exactly how long it's going to be. It's going to be 2 months or 4 months or 6 months or 8 months. We don't know exactly. We'll wait for Arsenal to confirm that one. But usually the likes of Sammy Mockbell and the likes of Mike, who's a Dutch journalist and all that, has close tabs to the player. They usually are correct most of the times. So hopefully we're just lucky and we're told like it's 1 month or 2 months and nothing longer than that. Now the problem is, if it's like a 6 or 7 month injury for him, a player would come back, yes, but will they come back the same? That is my worry. Yes, he's young, very young, he has time. But you guys would remember Hector Bellerin. Bellerin picked up the same injury. Bellerin was quick. He was one of our most promising players on that right as a right back. I remember him playing against Dortmund. Bellerin, I think it was like 2013. You could not catch him. Like, he was obliterating like everyone on the pitch in terms of pace. He was just too quick for everyone. He was scoring goals. He was getting assists. He picked up the ACL injury like this. Bellerin was never the same. We literally lost Bellerin right there and then. We never got him back. We never got the same player back. I am really hoping it's not the same for Timber, man, because the player will come back, but how long will it take them to recover? Because usually it is also a mental thing. Sometimes you don't want to go into challenges and all that because you're afraid you're going to, your ACL is going to rip once again, and it's going to be a problem. But this is just devastating news. Now, the question is, what are we going to do? If he's out for a long time, what are we going to do? We thought we were only going to look for a midfielder or a striker or a winger. That is what we are possibly looking for. But now we have a problem with our defense. We'll talk about the striking and defensive issues and all that. But right now, our defense, it has a problem. Tomiyasu, I read the stats, or I took a look at his stats. Tomiyasu, I don't think Tomiyasu has literally even played 10 games in a row as an Arsenal player, because of injuries. Like, he's very injury prone. Like, I think the number of games he's played and the number of games he's missed, it's almost the same, Tomiyasu. So, yes, you can depend on him for 2 or 3 games. But after that, I don't know how long Tomiyasu is going to play for you, like 5-10 games in a row. So Tomiyasu is an injury prone player. Even if you were to keep Jurrien Timber is an injury-prone player as well. He gets injuries so many times as well since he came to Arsenal. Like, there's a time he missed 93 days, another time he missed like 100 days. Like, Tierney gets injured a lot. On top of that, we're not even done. Zinchenko's picked up like 4 injuries already since joining Arsenal, and one of them is keeping him out until today, since the end of last season. Saliba picked up a back injury. I heard people saying back injuries don't usually just go away like completely. Like, it could come back anytime and could force him to miss games. So out of our 8-9 defenders, Tomiyasu can get injured anytime. Tierney can get injured anytime. If he stays, Zinchenko can get injured anytime. Saliba has a back problem. I'm not sure if he's recovered 100%. And in front of them, the people who are supposed to protect the defense, one of our best players, Thomas Partey, can also get injured anytime. So now we have a problem defensively. If everyone is fit, we have no problems defensively. Everyone is absolutely great. Everyone is a fantastic player at the back. Basically, the only players who never, I don't even want to say it, this thing of saying on it, they can pick up any injuries anytime. But Gabriel and Ben White have played a lot of games in a row without picking up injuries and stuff. Touch wood. I remember I said the same thing about him, and now he's injured. What do we do with our defense? Because even if we keep Tierney right now, you never know whether if Tierney and Tomiyasu get injured at the same time again, we are in a lot of crap, man. A lot of crap. Because 2 years ago, 2021-22 season, we were so close to getting Champions League football. Tomiyasu got injured, Tierney got injured, Partey got injured. It ruined our season. Last season, same. Tomiyasu got injured, Saliba got injured. It ruined our season. Now, this season, in the first game, Jurrien Timber picked up an injury. First game, he's picked up an injury. Now, some people would say, yes, it is a positive because the transfer window is still open. So it could be a positive that he's gotten injured now. But I literally do not see a positive. I understand that point, but I literally do not see a positive at all about Timber getting injured. Like, that is a player who was basically almost understood the Arsenal system and way very quickly. He's been here for 1 month already. He's already won a trophy with Arsenal already. He's connected to the players already. So just going and signing a player because one of your players is injured, it's not the same, because Timber, we actually kind of maybe scouted him and stuff, and he kept an eye on him maybe for a couple of weeks and a couple of months, and we decided this is the guy who's going to play very well for us, and he fitted in effortlessly. Now, going for another player again, like, we did not, I don't think we'd have gone for another defender at all, even if Tierney went. I don't think we'd have signed another defender. But now, the people, especially the players, the way we play from the back and build from the back, we need players who can do that. Even if you sign Osimhen and whoever at the front, if you don't have defenders and people who are going to defend and the people who are going to help you build from the back, there's nothing that is going to help, man. Like, you literally have to have those players. And the worst thing is the two main ones, Zinchenko and Timber, the ones who are very good at ball playing and carrying the ball from the back and creating and like passes to the midfield and stuff, they're both injured now. Like, that is a big problem. Like, Tomiyasu is good, yes, but what Zinchenko and Timber are giving in terms of having the ball on their feet and stuff, I don't think Tomiyasu can do that. Kivia is good in terms of that, but also pace-wise and all that, I don't think he's as quick as the likes of Timber. So that becomes a problem. So do you guys think we should be signing a defender, or what do we do? I don't think we'll go and sign 2 or 3 players. So I think it's a matter of choosing. Do you still want us to buy a striker, or do you now want us to buy another defender or another midfielder who can play as a defender? Because I'm very worried about our defense. Now, I know why we need a striker, yes, because Jesus got injured and stuff. But he was also injured last season for 4 months, and we survived. We did not lose the title because we did not have a striker. Last season, we lost the title because our defender got injured. I don't want that to happen again. So if you're to ask me right now, choose one. Buy a defender who can also play as a midfielder, buy a midfielder who can also play as a defender, or buy a forward who can play as a winger. I would choose buy a defender who can play as a midfielder, because those injuries at the back are too many. And if you don't have a spine there in central defense and central midfield, you're going to score 4 goals with Osimhen up front, but you're going to concede 5 or 6 goals. It does not help. So for me, I'd be trying to look for another defender again, especially if Timber is out for like 3 or 4 months, and Zinchenko, you cannot play 5 games in a row, and Tomiyasu cannot play 5 games in a row. If something happens to Saliba again, we are doomed. We are finished. Like, we cannot do anything at the back again. So up front, we can survive. We scored 88 goals last season. We still have Saka. We still have Martinelli. Nketiah will still score 10 plus if he plays every day. Hopefully Havertz scores as well. Hopefully we get the best from Fabian Smith as well, and Odegaard keeps scoring. But defensively, we don't have too many options. Right away, if you have like 3 injuries, we are back again to bring in the likes of Holding. Now, the likes of Tavares are still Arsenal players. Should we be keeping the likes of Tavares, or what should he do? But because I'm so confused right now, like, it has 100% ruined my day. Like, this piece of news, it has ruined my day. It's not even weeks, it's months. They're talking about months. It's going to be out for months. He's played 1 game for Arsenal. Like, how unlucky can we be, man? So what will happen to Jurrien Timber? Because earlier today, before we got this news, there was reports from the Telegraph saying Arsenal are thought to be very keen to find a move for Jurrien Timber. They would prefer to sell the player at this stage, but a compromise could be reached that would defer the fee for another 12 months, which would help Newcastle navigate their way through FFP concerns. Given the nature of the deal, it could be that it has to wait until closer to deadline day. So if Tierney leaves, he might not leave like right now. It might be at the end of the month. But now that Timber is injured and Zinchenko is injured as well, Zinchenko is back, but you know what I mean. Zinchenko has already gotten injured like 4 times in the 1 year he's been at Arsenal, so he can get injured anytime. Same with Tomiyasu. So even if we kept Tierney, I would love us to keep Tierney, but the problem is I think Arteta's looking at it like, yes, even if we keep Tierney, that means I'm having to change my system again. I don't want it. Tierney cannot play like Timber and Zinchenko. Maybe it's still sell him even if we have these injuries at the back. But I would try to keep him just to have extra numbers because we have a lot of competitions, man. Like with these players injured, man, we are back in the Champions League and we'll not even see Timber playing for us in the Champions League. Like, how sad can things get? Zinchenko as well. Can he play on the weekend against Everton and then play in the Champions League and then play on the following weekend against Tottenham? I don't know how possible that is. So sometimes we might have to again go back to using the likes of Holding again. Like we wanted to be past that stage, but now the injuries that we have, it's terrible, man. It's absolutely terrible. So you're basically banking and praying that Gabriel never gets injured and Saliba doesn't get injured again and Part in midfield doesn't get injured and Ben White stays fit, because now we have like 3 or 4 out of the 9 defenders who have injuries or can get injuries anytime. So that becomes a major problem. Personally, I'd be trying to look for either a defender who can play as a midfielder or a midfielder who can play as a defender, because I'm still worried about those positions. And those are the positions that cost us a lot last season. Don't take my word for it, but I think last season, in terms of home games, I think only like 2 teams conceded more goals than us at home. Like we conceded at home, we were conceding 3 goals to Brighton, 3 goals to Southampton, 2 goals to Liverpool, 2 goals to Man United. There are so many games we considered a bunch of goals at home. Some have even forgotten so many. Even Leicester, I think Leicester scored 2 or 3 goals against us at home in like the second game of the season or something. So we are conceding a lot of goals at home. We were definitely scoring a lot as well. So if you're looking at that, our problem is not striking, it is defense. We are conceding a lot of goals. Arsenal is still capable of scoring 2 or 3 goals even without Jesus on the pitch, without Martinelli on the pitch. You can still score. There's Trossard, there's Saka, and you can still score. Maybe, I don't know about when Saka and Odegaard are not there. I'm not sure you can score 2 or 3 goals. Both of them are not there. But usually if Martinelli is not there, Trossard is there, you can still score 2 or 3 goals. If this one is not there and that one is there, you can still score 2 or 3 goals. But defensively, I don't know. We can survive conceding 1 goal with those guys. But if you remove Saliba and Timber from that team, then we are conceding 3 or 4 goals once again. So I genuinely think we need a defender again. A midfielder can play as a defender or just a defender. Let me see what you guys have to say about this one. But this has completely ruined my day. First game of the season, man. First game of the season. And we are already sad. Alicia says, out of the season injury against Arsenal, why this happened to my club? Only I should look for another CB now. It looks like it, man. Like it looks like we're going to have to start looking again, and this literally spoils your plans. Like if Arsenal were trying to look for a striker or a wing or something, now this has to change the plans again. Now you have to go and start looking for a defender, because up front, we need better players up front, yes, but we have players who can play there. At the back, we don't have players who can play there if 3 or 4 of them are injured. So you need to sort out that position where you don't have anyone before sorting out the position where you already have someone, even if we don't like them, So Future says, or Gold says, speedy recovery, Timber. I'm really hoping it's like 1 or 2 months. But if it's an ACL, bro, an ACL usually is like 7 or 8 months. That is like the whole season. I'm really hoping he did not like rupture it and rip it apart. It's so sad, man. He's young. He will heal up quickly, says Lloyd. Hopefully, man. Bellarino's young too, and he never became the same player again. So sometimes it's also a mental thing, because I'm not a doctor or anything, but I think that part where it trips, it literally holds your knee together, where like it basically allows your knee to move around. So if that place rips out, when you come back, and I think they have to put like something inside the doctors for you to like heal and stuff. Like when you come back, it's not the same. Like you're scared of getting injured again, and it's just too much. Quick recovery, because Timber, you needed at the club. He's our best player, man, against Manchester, then he gets injured the very next week. He had a perfect injury record at Ajax. Yeah, that is what is even more sad, man. Machine said, as soon as he comes to Arsenal, injured for months. Coincidence? I think not. I don't know what it was now, because it was a weird injury as well, because he was going to tackle someone and then he woke up and then he came back the second half. He got up, he came back in the second half, and then the way his knee like bent, it was so awkward. So I don't really think that is a problem with the medical team. It could be. I've seen some people saying maybe it's the medical team that allowed him to come back for the second half. They should not have done it, but I don't know. I don't know what to think. If the player says it's okay and you don't really see anything wrong, you probably have to bring him back until he maybe feels the pain again. But yeah, this is a problem. The actual result on Timber is not out yet, says Babatop. Yes, it's not out yet from Arsenal, but the journalists who are talking about it, some of them have close relationships to Timber and the family and stuff. So they've probably had some news here and there. It's not 100% guaranteed. We don't know how long it is, but they're saying it's months. That is what you can say. It's not going to be a day or two. If it's something to do with the needs, it's months. Now we have to wait and see how many months. But now we have to start looking for other defenders. Shane says, I'm sick of who is in charge of physio in the club because they need the boot. I think he's leaving very soon, actually. I think the club doctor is about to go to Man United soon. That was already confirmed like a month ago. I think he could be leaving like by the end of the transfer window. So we are getting a new doctor and stuff. So let's see. Not what we expect as an Arsenal fan, but wishing him a quick recovery, says Solomon. It's so sad, man. Like our best signing so far, like he gets injured after the first game, man. This is very serious. I hope to see him back soon, says Alimu. I'm hoping to as well, but I don't think we'll be seeing him until like for at least months, man, 2-3 months the least. And if he has ruptured the ACL, that is like 9 months. So 9 months, that is the whole season. So you're not going to see him for this season. But hopefully we are lucky and he's out for like 2 months. Let's see. This is not good, says Richard. It's terrible, man. It's terrible. Like how many months? If he's done his knee, that is 8 or 9 months. That is what it usually is. I'm hoping he's not ripped it apart and it's like 2 or 3 weeks, not 2 or 3 months at least, or the most. Arsenal should act quick for a perfect replacement before the closure of the transfer. So as Sahid said, so I doubt you're going to sign a defender and also a striker. So I think it's a matter of choosing. Personally, I would rather get a midfielder or a defender somewhere there who can play at the back because I feel like we can still score goals even without Jesus there. But defensively, now without Zinchenko and Tierney and Timber and Tomiyasu can get injured anytime, we are in big trouble because we have a lot of competitions. You're basically now having to depend on Gabriel, Saliba, and Ben White to play every single game, even Carabao Cup games. This has literally ruined my day. I'm so sorry for him. Says tactical. Yeah, it's ruined my day as well. Timber injury ACL missed game. It could be like 6 or 7 months, as you said. It could even be more. I'm hoping not. I remember when Lisandro Martinez got injured for Man United last season in the Europa League. They are talking about 6 to 7 months, but he was only out for like a month or two. So hopefully we are as lucky as that. It's unfortunate, says Musa, but I don't think we are going to miss him so much. Nah, we are going to miss him so much, Musa. That is pretty inaccurate. He was already our best player that defensively against Nottingham and against Man City. Like he brings so much to our game, like the way the build-up play, the way he was so comfortable at left back. Like there's a reason he's playing instead of actual left backs like Tierney. There's a reason why he's being played there. Ben White is a starter for us 100%. And that is why I basically had to look for a different position to bring in Timber because he knew you cannot leave Timber on the bench. I have to find space for him in that starting lineup. And he found the left back role for him, but now he's gone. But we'll definitely miss him. You see at the bottom there, you said not forgetting Zini, Tomiyasu, and Tierney. Those 3 players you've mentioned, they usually don't go 1 month without an injury. Even right now, Zinchenko is out. He's been out for like 4 months. Tomiyasu, I think I read something like Tomiyasu's played like, I think he's missed 50% of the games and he's played 50% of the games. Basically, he's been injured half of the time he's been at Arsenal. Those are many injuries. Those are many games missed. He's missed like 50 games for Arsenal. So Tomiyasu, I don't think Tomiyasu is the guy we are supposed to depend on. I love him. I don't want him to go anywhere, but I want him to come on for 30 minutes, play in a Carabao Cup game, maybe start a Premier League game and then be on the bench for 2 and then come on, protect him, don't get him injuries. But depending on him to play every single day, you're going to get him injured again. That's the problem. So unless we sign a defender, I mean, now you can't even say sign a defender who can't get injured. Timber was never injured at Ajax, but he just came to us and he's injured again. So I don't know whether we're supposed to sign 20 defenders and just hope not all of them get injured. Nothing to worry, but prayer says Cosmos are definitely a lot to worry. And what does FIFA do in response to multiple injuries from big clubs in the opening days? I think the the World Cup as well also kind of affected. Like all these players who played at the World Cup are now getting multiple injuries right away. So that is definitely playing and they're playing a lot of games. And now that there's like 10 minutes and 15 minutes added every game, I think there's going to be a lot of injuries. Arsenal women suffered a lot from that last season. We picked up like 5 or 6 bad injuries to big players like Beth Mead and Vivian and Williamson, and big players who were injured last season. So I'm hoping it doesn't affect us that much as well. Make the players play more games. It's all about the money at the end of the day, tactical. FIFA and FA care about the money. They don't really care about your injuries and stuff. They just want the money and the paychecks to come in. Shocking news says, Peter, Ayobami, I don't think the managers decide on whether a player comes back or not, unless he has been told, listen, Timber is injured, don't bring him back on. And he says, yes, bring him back on. That is his problem. But the managers, Arteta, Guardiola, and Klopp, they usually go to the doctors and ask for advice. They don't control the injuries. He probably asks the doctor, hey, listen, he asked the physio and stuff, what is wrong? What is happening? Is he okay to play? Yes, he's okay to play. Okay, go back on. Arteta is not a doctor. And also in terms of being a useless coach, that is crap. He got us to the reason why we are here right now is because of Arteta. Oh Lord, our Timber quick recovery. Arteta must act very fast and get Cancelo from Man City. We are definitely not going to get Cancelo. He's already going to Barcelona. Mainly also because I don't think Man City are going to give us another player again, because they know we are now going to compete with them. They are not going to give us another player again. Militao, Mings, yeah, I forgot about Mings as well. He got a CS injury for Aston Villa the other day. Courtois, Timber, injured in the first game. It's terrible. It's terrible. I know all those injuries are big, especially Courtois. Like, it's basically, I think 2 years ago, he basically won Real Madrid the Champions League. And Militao is big as well. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like Real Madrid can survive. You know, they still have players like Alaba and Rudiger and all those people. But us now, we have like another 4 of the defenders who can get injured anytime. Let's see. Tavares can play left back. He can. I mean, I'm not going to laugh at Tavares. I don't think he's a complete nightmare like the likes of Mustafi and those players. But he's still very raw. I still feel like he needs like a couple of years to come to the top of the game. But you never know. You could decide to keep him now, since we have a lot of injuries at the back. But I don't know. Can he play as an inverted fullback? Tavares is almost like Tierney. They love bombing on the left side and, shooting and crossing the ball. He's not like a Zinchenko or Timber is going to come into midfield. I don't know how quickly can learn that, because even at Marseille, he was playing in a back 5 as a left wing back. So his work was to go forward, like on the wing. So he's not like coming inside. Let's see though. We should keep Cedric. Joshua, I'm already feeling bad for today after this Timber injury. Don't make me feel even more sick, man. I like Cedric as a leader. If he is in the dressing room as a leader and stuff, that's no problem. But you cannot say Timber is out to bring back Cedric. Nowhere near, man. Like, absolutely nowhere near. Nowhere near the quality of the likes of Timber and Zinchenko. Nowhere near. And also, he's like 40 years of age. So there's that as well. Frederick says, why are we always telling them not just selling players in here simply because of injuries? Wait, I don't get that, Frederick. So sad to understand that, but Zinchenko and Tomiyasu will intervene, says Fortune. Hopefully, if we were 100% sure that Zinchenko and Tomiyasu were going to be fit all the time, that would be good. But that's a problem. They're not always fit as well. Please buy Cancelo. I don't think we'll get Cancelo. But any other defenders you think we can get, like who are the center backs who can play as left backs? The guy from Real Sociedad, Fresneda, has not yet gone anywhere. I don't think so. So we could still go for him if we can, but I don't know. Oyewusi says, please, Glenn, any news on Raya? Why the delay on his announcement? I told you guys never to be following Arsenal announcements. Like, Raya could even be announced next month. Like, for me, he's already an Arsenal player. I think he will probably be announced maybe tomorrow, Wednesday. I'd even say tomorrow. I think we'll announce him. It could even be tonight, but I don't think so. Maybe tomorrow. Probably will announce him. There's always delays with these Arsenal announcements, but we usually get it done either way, the likes of Rice and those. And so let's just wait. He will get announced, though. Kudus is an ideal backup for Saka, says Abdul. The thing with Kudus, we are trying to sell players fast before getting someone like a Kudus, and we've not yet. Our players, unfortunately, the players we want to sell, not many teams want them, and that becomes a problem. Nicolas Pepe is still at Arsenal. There's no team that wants to pay the money for him. Lokonga is still at Arsenal. Tavares is still at Arsenal. Holding is still at Arsenal. El Neni is still at Arsenal. Ranason is still at Arsenal. Even the ones we are trying to sell, Tierney, Balogun, they're all still at Arsenal. So it becomes a problem. Now, these players, after all of those players that I've mentioned leave, I think the players that we have remaining, we are going to be getting a lot of money for them if we ever sell them, the likes of Odegaard and Gabriel and Saliba. But the ones that many of those players that I've mentioned were not really at the signings. Most of them are like from Wenger and Emery era. So the moment to get rid of them, like hopefully let's get some money. That's why we said some of you still want Balogun to stay. If we want players like Kudus, we have to sell players like Balogun and Tierney. We've already spent 200 million in the transfer market. I know Chelsea is crazy in terms of money as well. But they're in a bit. They always get themselves in a bit of trouble in terms of FFP. Atta must be serious about our squad. The issue forced us to use Granit Xhaka on the left back because defensive injury in 2021 season. You're right, Frederick. I remember that. Xhaka was playing as the left back. Terrible memories. Very, very bad memories, man. And that was because Tierney was injured and stuff. Abdul says, I prefer if we get Baka for Saka. We are not going to get Osimhen. I don't even think anyone is going to get Osimhen. I think he's going to remain at Napoli. You're going to have to pay 160 million for Osimhen. That is not realistic. Even right now, if you're to ask me, do you want to pay 160 million for Osimhen or use that 160 million to get 3 players, get a defender, get another midfielder, and get another forward and a forward player who can play as a winger? I'd probably go for the second option because I still feel like we have a couple of positions we need to sort out in the team. Even if you have Osimhen and you score 3 goals and you don't have defenders and midfielders, you're going to concede 4. You're still going to lose 4-3. You have to take care of the spine of your team first. Midfield, defense first. Zinchenko is close and Kiwior can cover before that. Yes, I love Kiwior for sure, but if Kiwior is covering for Zinchenko on the left side, who is covering for Gabriel in the centre-back positions? I suggest to bring another defender, just keep Tavares, says Frederick. Please, we need to back up for Saka and a striker, says Effort. From that comment, it means we are going to get like 3 more players. I don't think you're going to sign 3 more players. The most, maybe sign 1 more player and get another one on loan or something. I don't think you're going to sign 3 more players. How long have Ndaba, how he says, how long is the injury? Please, let me just recap what I've gone through. This is from Mike, the Dutch journalist, who says, dramatic news for Jurrien Timber is sidelined for months with injury to his anterior cruciate ligament. Sources around the player report further investigations to follow. And also, according to Sami Mockbell, Mailsport understand there are major concerns that Jurrien Timber may have suffered a significant knee ligament injury that will keep him sidelined for months rather than weeks. So we are not sure how long exactly, but they're talking about months. And if he's done his ACL, forget about Timber this season. Unless it's not as serious. I'm not a doctor, but usually that injury is like 6, 7, 8 months. For the sake of our beloved team, let us consider Tierney in replacement for Timber, then Tomiyasu in replacement for Ben White. I would love Tierney to stay, Eddie, but the kind of football we are playing, I don't think Arteta trusts Tierney to do what Zinchenko and Timber can do. But sometimes you're just forced to keep players like that because if the injuries are too many, you just have to keep him, whether we like it or not, or whether the manager likes it or not. Wishing him a quick recovery, says Mylon. Seriously, again, when I saw him in the second half, I was shouting here, why do we have to risk him again, says Anu. Now, that is a problem with the medics team, not the manager or the assistant manager staff. That is, you take the advice from the doctor. And it depends. Maybe Timber told the doctor, hey, I'm feeling good. Let me go back. It depends as well. I don't know what usually happens with the injuries and whenever they talk in the dressing room. I think you should go for a defender or buy a defensive midfielder, which hope I will help the situation, says Al-Haji. That is what I do as well. I think without a striker, we can't survive. I still keep on saying that. Unless if we were okay in every other position, I would love a striker who can also play as a wing and stuff. But right now, as of now, even if we buy a striker, our defense, and it's not yet enough yet, because those players can get injured anytime. We need backups, a lot of backups. So our team needs like 2 or 3 backups, especially defensively. Striking, we can still score goals. Striking, we still score 2-3 goals, even without Jesus, even without Trossard on the pitch, even without Martial on the pitch, we still score goals. But defensively, the moment the likes of Saliba went down injured, we are in big trouble every season. How many injuries did City play last season? Who authorized him to go back onto the pitch when he has a knee problem? Actual stupidity, sack the medical team. The doctor is leaving, Shane, so you're going to get your wish. Arsenal doctor crew should be held responsible for that long injury to Timber. Rabi says, Anu. I mean, we'll never know. I don't know if it's because he came back for the second half. He might have done it in the first half when he went in for that tackle, even before he came back on. Maybe he had already done that injury. Partey and Tierney have been injured more times than bread has been toasted. Yeah, quite a lot of times. And it's sad because for a couple of years, those 2 players were like our best players in the team. And you can keep on going. Zinchenko's already picked up like 4 or 5 injuries. Jesus has picked up like 3 already. Like, I don't know why it always happens to us. Like, so many times. Like, we are going back to 2008, Eduardo, it ruined our season. The number of times Van Persie got injured, man, every time. He was scoring so many goals and then boom, he gets an injury. This number of times someone like Cazorla got injured. We play so well, Cazorla is out injured. Rosicki, so many times. And now it's the same once again. Tierney, Partey, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko. Anthony says, tell Arteta to introduce Balogun instead of Kai Havertz. No, thank you. Havertz wants to play for Arsenal. Balogun doesn't. Hope that one helps. Oyewusi says, I'm sure we'll sign a player that will play as a midfield and defense and also sign a cover for Saka. If you can get 2, it would be good. The piling up of games are the effects of players going on injury from the start of the season. Couture, Militao, De Bruyne. I even forgot about De Bruyne as well. Timber and Kunku and so many. FIFA, UEFA needs to put players' health at consideration first. They're not going to do that. They care about their money. They're not really going to do that. They will. Maybe what they should do is to allow teams to have more players in the squad, because they usually some competitions have. I think a limit of like 25 players, 28 players, 30 players. Maybe allow teams to have like 30 to 35 players in the squad. Maybe that is the only way, because they're not going to reduce the games. Next season, they're adding the games in the Champions League and Europa League, so it's not going to be reduced. Get a striker. We still have good defenders, says Stanslers. We have very good defenders, but most of them cannot play 3 games in a row. That is the problem. If you take out Zinchenko, Tierney, Tomiyasu, and Timber, how many defenders do we have remaining? We have Kivio, Gabriel, Ben White, Saliba. That is it. And then we have so many competitions. Like you need like 8 defenders who are always there. Abdul says, my comment on Osimhen is next season, not now. Yeah, next season I'd love someone like an Osimhen for sure. But right now it's very difficult to spend 100 million on Rice and then spend another 160 on Osimhen. Effort says the biggest problem here is that even England can see that a striker is needed, just like Arteta. I'm just asking a simple question right now: which one is needed more, a defender or a striker? Looking into last season is what is going to help us answer that question. Where did Arsenal struggle more, to score goals or conceding goals? It is a very simple answer. It's so obvious. We scored 88 goals last season with all of those forward players getting injuries. But defensively, the moment Saliba and Tomiyasu were out, after that Sporting game, we were conceding for fun. So many goals, like back to back to back. But all of those games, there's no game that I watched and I was like, oh my goodness, Arsenal is really struggling to score goals for 2 or 3 games. No, we were scoring 3-4 goals with Jorginho on the pitch, with Martinelli on the pitch, with Trossard on the pitch, with Smith Rowe on the pitch. He was not really on the pitch. Fabio Vieira, Saka, Odegaard, we were scoring a lot of goals. But defensively, the moment Saliba got injured, we were conceding a lot of goals. So for me right now, we can survive without a striker, but we cannot survive without a defender. Like if Zinchenko and Timber and Tierney are not in that team, we're in big trouble. But if Jesus is out, like right now, we can still win games. Like if Nketiah is out, we can still win games. If Trossard is out, we can still win games. But defensively, already our left side is totally done with all of those players injured. Let's see what Tate is going to do, though. Obviously, they're the ones who are going to make the final decision. Tierney hasn't been given a chance. The boy is good. I mean, that is what we will say. But obviously, those people are in training every single day, so they get to see what this one can do and this one can't do. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in a game. Maybe they usually play like 11 against 11 in training, 5 against 5. So they usually see what this one can do and what this one cannot do. So it doesn't have to be in a game. With striker Trossard is there to prove in case of injuries. I have to agree with that as well. Defensively, if Tierney, Zinchenko, and Timber out, what are we going to do? We'll only have like 4 defenders remaining to play all of those competitions. But up front, if Jesus is not there, this is what I'm trying to say. You have to try and start at a position where you don't have someone before sorting out a position where you already have someone. Now, most of you don't like Nketiah or Havertz, but those are players. They are going to play in that position, whether we like it or not. But defensively, we don't have someone to play in that position if all 3 or 4 of those players are out. So you have to sort out a position where you don't have someone before you sort out a position you already have someone. So, most people don't like Nketiah, but Ateta does. So maybe Ateta is looking at it like, hey, we can survive with those players playing here and there. Play Trossard today, play Havertz tomorrow. We can still score goals. And I still feel like even with Nketiah and Havertz, you can still score 2-3 goals in a game. They will miss chances, yes, but defensively is my problem. I still wanted another midfielder after signing Rice, and I still feel like I need another midfielder who can play as a defender now. Defender is more important now than striker. Yeah, for sure. Jesus right now is injured, but you can still survive. You can still win all these games that are coming up. But the moment, if you take out Timber and Saliba from that team, we are going to concede a lot of goals right away. But up front, even if Trossard is not there, we are still going to score. Even if Martial is not there, we are still going to score. Unless like you take out Saka, Odegaard, and Martial, all 3 of them at the same time, then it becomes a problem. But as long as Saka is there, as long as Odegaard is there, all that, we are still going to create chances for all those players, and we're still going to score goals. It could be months now, so it could be a lot of months. Usually it takes like 8 or 9 months if he has ripped it apart. I don't know why we are not talking about Cancelo again. A lot of reasons, Uma. It's going to cost you 70 million. Number 2 is Man City. Man City, I don't think are going to sell another player to us. And number 3, he also has to want to join Arsenal. So I'm not sure. I have a feeling a lot of players usually choose Arsenal these days, but I have a feeling Cancelo wants to go to play in a different country. So I just don't know. I'm sorry, you need a defender, please. Timber replacement. Obviously, it would be very good if you can get a striker and a defender. That would be good if you can get 2 players. That would be very great. But I doubt. You also have to balance our finances and not get into trouble with FFP. So I asked the same question on YouTube in a poll. 43% have said buy a striker still. 23% have said buy a defender. 27% have said buy a winger. 9% said buy a midfielder. Mukisa says you can get Cancelo on loan. Yeah, maybe. But then again, getting a player like a Cancelo on loan, he's not going to play against Man City. That is the team that we're trying to beat. I want all our players to be there, especially that is why we are losing to Man City home and away. Like, we don't want to play Man City and then, oh my goodness, Timber is injured, Cancelo cannot play because he's on loan from there. Let's see what is going to happen, though. But that is the latest news on Timber. Very devastating. Tierney, let's see if he's going to end up staying because of that injury. The Balogun update is that Monaco are looking forward to sign him right now. But let's see if anything is going to change. We are still waiting for the Ray announcement. Obviously, he's already announced. No player is going to be announced very soon. Thank you for watching. Let's pray for Timber and catch up with you guys on the next one.